Here is my coil spring compressor. It's for front struts on a vehicle. So if you're not familiar with how that would work, you would put the entire strut, suspension arm, suspension leg, whatever you want to call it, which is the shock absorber with the spring around it. You'd put the bottom of it in there and you can clamp it in. And then these come over and they hook onto the spring. And then you pump this, which pushes the shock absorber part up. Squashing the spring means you can undo the top nut, take it off, and then you release this and it gently releases the spring and you can remove it. Really super useful, and I use it quite a bit. I can't show you really how you'd use it because the only struts I've got in the garage are air struts, so you don't need it for those. But this is broken. I bought it broken. It didn't go up, so the seals were gone in the ram. It was really cheap. Probably getting the theme here that I buy broken stuff and fix it. So I took it apart at the time. This was quite a few years ago, and the seal in it was like a plastic cup piston seal that went around the rod on the bottom, so it faces downwards. Sorry, the cup. And it had like a big O-ring in it that sort of pushed the plastic against the sides. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I went to a hydraulic ram rebuilding company and I took it in. I said, how do I seal this? And they were like, I have no idea what that is. So that was some nasty Chinese cheapness going on in there. So they actually found a modern piston seal and said, look, if you file off the part of the groove, wasn't really a groove, it was like the bit that the cup sat on had like lips in it, file it all off and make it just round, you can put a normal piston seal on there. So I did that and it works, but because the piston seal grips so well, it doesn't go down. So I pump a strut up and then I release it with that pedal and it just sits there and I have to force it down and it's getting harder and harder and harder. It's getting ridiculous. So I'd love it to be foot operated still, but these rams are, you can't really buy these rams and stuff, so I'm going to have to modify it. And I happened to come across these after years and years of searching. I've got two actually, because why would you buy just one when a bargain comes up? And I bought these off a man that got loads of rams and stuff for sale at an auto jumble, and these are made by Enerpac, which are a really good brand. So I think I better get spares for them if I need them. They're going to be built to regular standards. It says it's a 1.5 ton, and this says it's a 1,000 kilo compressor. So I'm thinking that only does a ton. And the plan is I'm going to substitute this into it. You might notice it is taller than that one, so I do lose a bit of height. But honestly, this is how I've been using it. It normally only goes down to about here, and you can unbolt this and move this up anyway, so I'm not going to lose much. If you were putting a strut in that was that big, the spring would be so powerful you wouldn't compress it anyway. Main issue is I've already started to look at this. So this, sits on top of there like that and has a little grub screw in it. Undo the grub screw, lift it up. You can see that the top of this ram is much wider than the top of this ram. So what I did was I hunted out on eBay some steel tube with the correct outer diameter to go in there and almost the correct inner diameter. It is quite close. So I'm going to chop off a small length of this, put that in there and mark it. I'll chop off a small length. I'll probably die grind out the center because I don't think I'm going to have a drill bit that would be suitable. And honestly, for the size of it, just die grind a bit out. I'll put that in there. And on there, I'm going to have to do something about securing it. I think the easiest thing, honestly, to do is just to drill a hole in the side of this and let that grub screw go all the way through this and grip onto that. I just think that's going to save me a lot of work rather than grub screwing this and then putting it in and then grub screwing there. It feels like a lot of effort, but we'll see. And then this is going to need securing to the bottom. I don't think any of those holes are going to line up, so I'll mark that and drill it and tap it. And then I'm going to have to work out a way to operate it. Now I'm hoping that I can take this out, put it in there, work out a way to spring load that, because at the moment it's not. I'm wondering if I can just take the spring and the cup off and put it on here. Probably not. I don't think that'll work. But to be fair, honestly, if it just ends up being that you have to push it down and then lift it up with your foot and then push it down again, that's fine. I'm never going to get the foot release because this is a twist. So I'm always going to have some kind of handle and a twist, but I'll work that out when I come to it. I have got a handle, a 3-piece handle that I can't find. That's for these. It's got a little crimpy end, and it goes in there and you twist it over and put it in there and it. So let's get on. First job, mark this, cut it, go from there. And here's the big power hacksaw. I'm going to put this clip into my hacksaw video as well. So let's cut this fairly substantial piece of steel on this. Here we go. Time for some serious hole drilling overkill now. There's an 8mm drill bit in this. You see all the things I have to do to get this to work. Handle. Mil drill and steel, 830 RPM. 30. Nearest I can get is 798. C, D, high speed. And here we go. Here's what I've made. So I've use the die grinder to take the inside out a little bit and to take the burrs off that drilled hole because they're all stuck out the bottom. This now fits on the ram. There we go. And I drilled an 8mm hole and hopefully the grub screw goes through. Oh, it's close. But yeah, it goes through. That's fine. So, now I've already taken the ram off. It was only 2 bolts and they went straight through with nuts. So I need to now mark out the base for the yellow ram. And I'll mark where that one goes anyway. See if I can die grind it out maybe. Now we need to drill this out and they appear to be 6mm holes. So I'll drill 3 6mm and die grind out the corner of that one. And then we should have a nice mounted ram. Really missed a bunch of that because apparently although I thought I'd pressed record on the phone, I had not. Never mind, you only saw me drill some holes. Or didn't. That fits on there. Nice and snugly. And then that bit will go on there. But let's see if we can get these holes to line up first. See if I've done in any way a decent job of drilling them. And those two look like they'll work. Hopefully those two. Right, let's get some 6mm bolts and chuck them in. That base is thick enough that I could have tapped them in, but drilling and then tapping, you have to be perfect with your drill holes, and this is kind of done by, I did it with a hand drill, and it's never going to be perfect, so it's easier to drill holes through. You can have a little bit of inaccuracy, and then you can just drop bolts through the holes, and you can enlarge the holes if you need to. They're all 6mm holes. I could make them 7s and give myself loads of wiggle room. I'll put a penny washer on that one just because it's not an actual hole, it's just the side of that kind of taken out with the die grinder. The rest will line up, so I'll buzz them on. That should be right. Well, that's on. 4 bolts in the bottom, and it's nice and secure. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I've got the collar fitted to the top, the new collar. Then we'll refit this bit. See if that still goes over nicely. Yep. Any idea where the grub screw went? Anyone? Oh, there. Genuinely didn't expect to find that. It fitted surprisingly well. I thought it was going to need a longer one, but because the original ram had got that groove cut in it, it's gone straight in. Well, look at that. Excellent. So now we need to come up with a way to operate this. Let's see what we can do with this. The right size? Oh, it's not the right size. Oh, that's a shame. Well, maybe it'll just have to be hand operated. My only issue with that is when you're operating it by hand, your face is going to be near that. That's a shame. This comes apart easily. Look at this. Got a pin in it. Let's pull that pin. Pull that pin. I think I might need some proper dismantling tools here. Oh no, got it. There we go. Now, what if anything lines up with this? Nothing really. Think the plunger's the same? Be a miracle, wouldn't it? That's 12mm on that one. 12mm. Oh, no way. I'm not that lucky. Do you think? No way. It looks like that's 12mm. So's that one. Well, I wonder if I can build that into that. I mean, we'll try. These are a bit harder to get off. Need to lever those off, but I'll do that. Take that out and I'll have a look. Look how badly made that is. I mean, I think that's how it was new. It's terrible. Fit over there? Now, there's a problem. That doesn't fit over there. That does fit over that one. Thread sizes. 19.65, 19.65. There's still a possibility actually I can unscrew that and that one. Take the one out of there and screw it into there. I mean, we can but try. It still only gives me foot up. Does that matter? No. I'm not sure if oil is going to pour out of this or not. No, okay. they're very similar. Wow, I even think the bottoms match up. Let's clean that. There's what looks like a copper washer and an O-ring in the bottom. I'm hoping this is going to work with those. No way. Wow, okay. Can we slot that back in there? Yes. Can we get that back on there with that? Oh. Yes. Yes. And then we just need a pin to go through. Well, actually, use the pin that came with the red one because it just had a pin through it. That'll make this much easier. So I think I need to take the top of that off. This needed the top taken off. It was actually doing its job. It was stopping this rotating. Which is the other one I've got. That thing stops that from hitting. Sorry, it hits it there, so it stops it moving. And it was stopping this from moving. See, it was just denting it up there. So I'll try putting that back on. Hopefully all I've needed to do is that. And that also means this will still work as original if I took it off. Hooks in there. Well, well, it appears to be. I mean, I can't believe I've managed to do this. That's luck, no skill by me. I was just not going to bother with all this. The reason I was worried about having to use a hand one is only because obviously this is my face height at the moment. If I'm pumping this, 1 ton of spring is being compressed next to my head. Bit scary. But yeah, you seem to be. I open that. Goes back down. We remain to see how good it will be, but I'll put the rest of the bits on and then I'll work out a release mechanism. Out there. Move it a while. Decided what I'm going to do with this. I can turn it by hand actually, and it works. What I'm going to do is drill and tap that with an M4 thread. Thread this in and then stop it unscrewing. Put a little lock nut on the back. And I've got my bits. I've got my helpful set of taps and drills. What? Okay. Why are you shouting? If you were doing something like this and you don't have taps and dies and things, you could just drill a clean hole straight through and put a nut either side. That should now work. want it to go down. That's fine, it's a nice controlled speed, and actually, if I press on it, it's more than enough. Now, I can't flip it back up with my foot, but that's fine. Just do that. The release is the important, because you kind of want to be a bit like that. You may also need to steady something as you're doing it and all sorts. Some of these have got a cage around them for safety. Honestly, I've never had anything break out of this thing, but maybe it comes down to how you line them up and also maybe the strength you're working on. I normally just work on cars and things. If it was something a bit bigger, I don't really know what else has struts that big, but I'd imagine you can have a problem. This does me, and I'm careful as with it. Still safer than coil spring compressors that are the bolts with the hooks on that you do up because they fly off all over the place. Well, that's pretty good. I'll show you an air strut in it. I can't put a spring strut in it because I don't have one. I'll go and shove one in it, hang on. Best I can manage, because this is a Range Rover air strut and it doesn't even fit in there. So I'm having to hold it. You can kind of see the idea of it if you weren't sure. That hook can hook round to secure it in there, and you do the hand screw up. And then, if this wasn't an air spring, obviously, if it was a proper spring, these would hook onto the spring, and it's all adjustable. So you can adjust it for size and position and things. And then you'd pump this, and as that goes up, that stays still, and you can press your spring. Empty VW coolant bottle. It's actually a very stout bottle, so you know. Actually a little bit afraid of getting this in the eye. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, decent little fix. Well, there you go. Short video on me fixing my coil spring compressor and sticking another ram in it with a ridiculous amount of luck that worked. There you go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see some more stuff get fixed, and please press the thumbs up under the video. It really helps out. It means it gets promoted, and that'd be nice. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye bye.